graphic designer. Anybody a graphic designer in the room? You're doing graphic design. Where is John? What's your name, sir?
Keith Jones.
I can't hear it.
Keith Jones.
Keith.
Keith Jones.
Jones. T.
Keith.
Jones.
Keith.
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 Keith. Come up here. Come up here. You notice I have hearing aids here. They don't work. How are you?
Keith Jones.
Hey, Keith. Yeah, I got to speak up, Keith. I mean, you got to. Yeah.
It's a big room.
Yeah, it is a big room. Thanks, Keith. Thank you. See, lots of people here. Thank you, Keith. So, Keith, do you do any graphic design?
I do.
Oh, I thought so. Go back. Go back. The day Keith stops doing graphic design, Keith will be doing the E-Myth. The day you stop doing fixing computers is the day you will be doing E-Myth. The day you stop doing it in your company is the day you'll understand the power, the transformational power of E-Myth, just like Dr. Meisner understands. BNI would not exist today if Dr. Meisner had not approached BNI as an entrepreneur does. I'm suggesting that is waiting for every single one of you. When you're doing it in your business, busy, are you doing it in your business? You sure are? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Oh, you know you are. Definitely. And they lie to me at breakfast. The lies get deeper by the time we reach dinner. You know? But then we start drinking. Yes, so people read the E-Myth, and people reread the E-Myth, and I look at copies of E-Myth, and they've highlighted it and made notes in the margins, and they go on, but they're not doing E-Myth. So I'm going to leave every single one of you today with this nostrum. And that is effectively, if you're not doing E-Myth, but you've read E-Myth, you're not a very happy soul. Because you know in your heart of hearts that there's another way. There's another way to do what needs to be done to grow your company. Now, it's interesting when I ask people, have you read any of my books? They say, well, yes, of course. And they tell me I've read the E-Myth or they haven't. Please raise your hands if you have not read the E-Myth, please. Thank you very much. Oh, my God. Oh, it's painful. Did you hear Dr. Meisner say, what did he say? He said, BNI is a product of E-Myth. Now, I get that all the time. This is not taking credit, you understand? I give credit to Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's. Ray Kroc was 52 years old when he walked into McDonald's to sell them a multi-mixer malted milk machine. Ray Kroc was a peddler of malted milk machines. Of malted milk machines at 52 years old, and he walked into McDonald's in San Bernardino to sell them a multi-mixer malted milk machine. And he could not believe his eyes. He was so moved by what he saw, he convinced the McDonald brothers to give him the franchise rights to McDonald's, and they did. And the reason they did is because they knew you couldn't franchise McDonald's because they already tried and failed. Now hear me, they already knew you couldn't because they already tried and failed. Anybody here ever come to the realization that advertising doesn't work? Anybody here ever come to the realization that networking doesn't work? Has anybody here ever come to the realization that people don't work? Has anybody ever come to the realization that the world doesn't work? And all of us have all of these experiences which have informed how we work every single day. We come to the conclusion that nobody works as hard as I do. Anybody here come to that conclusion? I can't get them to make the decisions that I make. I can't get them to work as hard as I do. I can't get them to think as much as I do. I can't get them to care as much as I do. All of it, I can't. Anybody ever come to these conclusions? You've got all these conclusions. corporations, every single one of us do. You can prove to me absolutely that the E-Myth doesn't work. Yeah, well, I read the book and I sort of tried it, and I hear that over and over and over again, but every place I look, I can tell a story like Mike Steranka's story. You understand, if you were to tell Mike Steranka the E-Myth doesn't work, he'd look at you like you're out of your mind. I mean, literally, as though you should be committed. He'd look at you and say, how could you possibly say that? And then he'd tell you another story of somebody who's used the E-Myth. And then another story, and then another story, and then another story, and then another story. Every single one of them going beyond doing it in their own business, designing a company that works better than any other. Well, Ray Kroc did the E-Myth, and he didn't even know it. Ray Kroc did it. Michael Dell at Dell Computer did the E-Myth. Sam Walton at Walmart stores did the E-Myth. Every extraordinary company that's ever been created has done the E-Myth. In fact, the E-Myth was invented because of what they had known how to do. Ray Kroc got the franchise rights from the McDonald brothers, went back to Des Plaines, Illinois, borrowed the money, hadn't the capital, didn't have the money to do this. He was a peddler of malted milk machines. Hear me, he had never done this before.